Listen closely, a tight chorus of frogs, each note a map. An elder leans close and says, "We plant when the frogs sing like this." The sound hangs over the water, soft, certain. Quiet stones, loud stories.
Welcome back to Ancient Echoes KH. I'm Sam Nong Bradley. Walk the temples with me. And today, walk the paddy edges. We're following a different kind of calendar, the one written in birds, frogs, wind, and the hush of clouds. Over the next 30 minutes, I'll introduce you to farmers, elders, and a teacher who translate folklore into everyday decisions. We'll listen, learn, and I'll share how to listen respectfully if you ever visit.
I'm Sovin. Glad to be here. The layers matter. This is cultural knowledge, deeply practiced, often poetic, and entwined with livelihoods. We'll also explain how these vernacular signs live alongside modern forecasts, not instead of them. Consider this a field notebook for your ears.
Context Corner. In villages across Cambodia, people read the weather with more than instruments. There are almanacs kept in handwriting, a grandmother's ear for the first call of a particular bird, a teacher who points to a cloud and tells a story that helps children remember the season. These are embodied systems, practical, poetic, and shaped by generations. We're not here to substitute meteorology. We're documenting cultural practice and listening for meaning.
From an ethnographic point of view, what we hear is a form of memory, community memory. The commune scribe I visited showed me a faded ledger where each year's rains, harvest yields, and ritual days are noted. He underlined patterns with a pencil and a small, satisfied smile. The research shows these notes matter for seed choices, labor sharing, and when to mend the irrigation channels.
Then the field work begins. Picture dusk, a narrow path between paddies, water reflecting half the sky, buffalo bells somewhere beyond the trees. I walk with Chow, a grandmother who plants by listening. She stoops by a shallow pool, runs a finger through the mud, and then, almost like a performance, she listens to the frogs. She says, "When the frogs sing like this, the soil will hold the seed." I asked her how many years she's trusted the frogs. She laughed, soft and sure. "Since I was a girl, the frogs teach us."
Let's unpack that. The frogs teach us is both literal and metaphor. It signals moisture in low places, insect cycles, and sometimes the timing for communal work parties. But it's also a way elder knowledge is taught to children through imitation, stories, and shared labor.
At one house, I met the commune scribe, Mr. Roth, who keeps a handwritten almanac. He opened it carefully, page edges soft with use. The pages list years, months, and notes. Late rains, fish spawn earlier. Or early drought 1994, community seed swap helped us recover. He showed me annotations about seed saving, which varieties are resilient to flooded fields, which fare better with late monsoons. He emphasized this is community knowledge, shared at ceremonies and market conversations.
This is significant because it links ecological observation to social practice. Seed saving is not just biology, it's reciprocity. If one family's crop fails, the next season, someone else's saved seed helps them replant. That social network is as crucial as any forecast.
A younger voice added a new beat to the song. Kuhn, a primary school teacher, brings weather lore into lessons. She taught children to draw clouds and match them to a proverb she learned from her mother. Then she pairs that with a simple science chart, how pressure and wind work, so kids see both knowledge streams. When she told me about her students, she said, they keep the proverbs and they ask why the science is true. That combination, story plus explanation, makes the knowledge lively.
From a cultural standpoint, this blend is what keeps traditions relevant. Children aren't only inheriting sayings, they're learning to test and observe. It's a living ethnography in the classroom.
I'll read a line the commune scribe allowed me to quote. He said, "We do not worship the clouds, we read them like friends." Say that with me in your mind for a moment. Clouds as friends, patient, changeable, carrying stories from the highlands to the rice fields. Soundscape interlude. Close your eyes. Hear paddy water lapping at the bund, cicadas in the trees, a distant buffalo bell, a low frog chorus folding into the dark. There's a whispered proverb I recorded, a neighbor saying, "When the river smells of new rain, prepare the seedlings." Let the place sit with you.
Expert reflection. I spoke briefly with an agricultural extension worker who has worked alongside communities for years. She reminded me that embodied knowledge and scientific forecasts are complementary. She said, when forecasts fail, people turn to signs they have relied on for generations. When both agree, communities respond faster. Her point was practical. Respect both systems and document the first with consent.
There are also important ethical notes here. We did not include village GPS coordinates. We obtained verbal consent on the record and offered participants the option to review sensitive segments. The commune requested that some of the almanac details not be published. We respected that. If you're recording in the field, remember, ask, pay fairly, and follow community-led guidelines for what can be shared.
Practical takeaway and visitor tips. If you visit, first, connect through a vetted local liaison or community organization. Second, always ask permission before recording or photographing. Explain how the material will be used and offer copies. Third, support projects that are led by community members, seed banks, school programs, and elder archives, rather than one-off visits. Finally, do not treat lore as prescriptive farming advice.
A final thought. Listening itself is a form of care. When Xiao taught me to listen to frogs, she wasn't only sharing a planting cue, she was inviting me into a rhythm of responsibility to the land, to neighbors, and to future seasons. If you visit, listen more than you speak. Offer reciprocity, time, support, respect.
That's the heart of the matter. This episode records practices that matter to livelihoods and cultural continuity. We've been careful to center community voices and to avoid simplifying complex local knowledge. For more detailed references and the organizations we worked with, see the show notes and transcripts on our website.
If this episode moved you, subscribe to Ancient Echoes KH so we can keep walking these paths together. Find full transcripts, show notes, and links to community-led projects on our website. Support goes through vetted partners. From village kitchens to temple chants, from market chatter to frog songs. Thank you for listening. Quiet stones, loud stories. Samnong Bradley. Listen, learn, belong.